Top 10 Expensive Rolex Watches. Rolex is a luxury watchmaker based in Geneva, Switzerland. It was founded far back in 1905 by Alfred Davis and Wildorf, and this watch brand has become famous for its exquisite handcrafted watches. Owned by businessmen, popular politicians, and A-list celebrities. The prices of their watches vary, and it could be based on its history, especially in the collector's world, or a brand new collection designed by the company. Either way, Rolex watches are jaw-droppingly expensive, with the least costing hundreds in dollars. In this video, we will show you the top 10 most expensive Rolex watches, not just to entertain you, but in case you're thinking of getting one for yourself. But before we get started, kindly click on the subscribe button as it will help our channel grow. Number 10. 1950 Rolex Perpetual Sleeping Beauty, $1.14 million. At number 10 is a watch designed and made in 1950. There are only 1,000 of it in existence and features a triple date and moon phase display. The stainless steel Rolex Perpetual takes this spot easily. It was introduced in 2013 at Christie's in New York at the price of $250,000 to $350,000. After breaking a record for selling at $1.14 million, it was nicknamed Sleeping Beauty. However, it was formerly called Padalone. Number 9. 1949 Rolex Oyster Perpetual, $1.22 million. At number 9 is the Rolex Oyster. In 2014, this watch was auctioned at Geneva's Christie Auction House. The 1949 Rolex Oyster Perpetual, which has a close-on enable, sold for $1.22 million, making it one of the most expensive Rolexes ever sold. This watch is one of the rarest and oldest watches that exist. No wonder it happens to be so expensive. Another interesting thing about this Rolex watch is that the 18-karat gold model's dial shows a ship sailing on a rather rough sea, with a whale in the sea, adding to its uniqueness. Number 8. Eric Clapton's 1971 Oyster Albino Cosmograph Daytona, $1.4 million. Coming in at number 8 is Eric Clapton's Oyster Albino Cosmograph Daytona. This rare edition of the Rolex Cosmograph Daytona got the nickname Albino because of the unique silver chronograph total eyes it comes with. It was bought by Eric Clapton, a notorious musician, in 1990 and was first worn by him. This Rolex watch was at an auction in New York in 2003 and sold for $505,000. It was auctioned again in 2015 at the Philip Auction Geneva and sold for a whopping $1.4 million. Number 7. 1969 Paul Newman Oyster Soto Cosmograph Daytona, $2 million. At number 7 is all collectors' dream watches, the 1969 Paul Newman Cosmograph Daytona, which is unique, one of the two Oyster Sotos that exist. Another thing that makes it special is the word Oyster appearing under the Rolex and Cosmograph appearing on the dial, which makes it different from other brands. In 2016, this legendary watch was auctioned at the Phillips auction and sold for $2 million. Number 6. 1942 Rolex AntiMagnetic Split Seconds Chronograph, $2.45 million. At number 6, we have the 1942 Rolex Chronograph. 12 collections of this rare Rolex were made, but never released to the public. They were instead given to some race drivers, with about 8 of them still known to exist. The 1942 Rolex Chronograph is a 4mm manually wound split seconds chronograph, encased in stainless steel. It is quite large, probably the largest Rolex watch ever made. In 2013, it was first auctioned at Christie's auction and sold for $1.16 million. It is so rare that when it resurfaced in 2016, it was sold at the Phillips Geneva for a record-breaking $2.5 million. We are halfway through our countdown. If you are still here, it's because you are enjoying this, so you should, without a doubt, tap the bell button to subscribe and keep you locked in so you don't miss any content from this channel. Number 5. 1958 Rolex GMT Master, $3.5 million. Moving on to our number 5 position is the 1958 Rolex GMT Master. It is covered in 18-karat gold with a gorgeous bakelite cognac brown bezel. The original owner had it well preserved and then placed it on auction, but didn't make it part of the remarkable ones. In 2016, it was auctioned at Phillips Auction Geneva and was sold at a remarkable $3.5 million. Number 4. 1969 Paul Newman Daytona, the legend, $3.7 million. Taking our number 4 spot is a Rolex watch that many refer to as the legend, and has just 3 of it known to exist. The 1969 Paul Newman Oyster Cosmograph Daytona is the only one of the 3 with a yellow gold case, yellow gold bracelet, black subdials, and sublime lemon grenade dial. In May 2017, it was auctioned at the Phillips Auction Geneva and sold for a staggering $3.7 million. Number 3. 1954 Bio Die Rolex, $5.1 million. At number 3, there is the 1954 Bio Rolex Oyster Perpetual. This watch was specially made for Bio Die in 1954. He was the last reigning emperor of Vietnam. The meaning of his name was Keeper of Greatness. This Rolex watch, with only one of its kind, is made of outfitted with black diamond indexes, has a triple calendar with moon phase indicator, and is clad with 18-karat gold. It was first auctioned in 2002. It sold for only $235,000. Then again, in May 2017, it was auctioned at the Phillips auction and was sold at an astounding $5.1 million. Number 2. 1971 Rolex Daytona, the Unicorn, $5.9 million. Many refer to this Rolex watch as the Unicorn, the 1971 Rolex. This watch is known to have been made with white gold, making it a stunning sight to behold. Our number 2 position is the 1971 Rolex Daytona. There is none like it. Only one of it was ever made. It was sold in May 2020 for a shocking $5.9 million, making it deserving of the second position on the top 10 most expensive Rolex watches. Number 1. Paul Newman's 1968 Cosmograph Daytona, $17.8 million. Finally, we are at our number 1 spot. It has been quite a journey getting here. The number 1 most expensive Rolex watch on this list has quite a bit of history. The 1968 Cosmograph Daytona was owned by the legendary Oscar-winning actor Paul Newman. He is also named after the watch. He apparently gave the watch to James Cox, his daughter's boyfriend in college. It was later said to be missing by some vintage watch collectors, but was seen again on the wrist of James Cox, who then decided to place it on auction. Paul Newman's 1968 Cosmograph Daytona was auctioned in October 2017 in New York and sold at an astounding $17.8 million. It has become the most important, expensive, and sought-after Rolex watch ever sold. There you have it, the top 10 most expensive Rolex watches that are of the best quality, best designs, made with the rarest materials, with precision, accuracy, and top performances. The most important part being they cost a fortune and will continue to be a must-have for the rich, filthy rich, and famous. Thanks for watching to the end. We know you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment to help our channel grow.